Hey, you don't know this, but this is the second time I've been doing this. Duff here. I just shot like a whole video, and I forgot that I had my camera set to the time-lapse setting that I use to record my 3D printer print job, where it takes 1 second of video for every 60 seconds. So yeah, that was all a mess. So anyways, hey, I'm here. And the reason I'm here is twofold. Originally I wanted to make a video just talking about my experiences with the the Monster versus the M Super. I have about 900K on my M Super and 122K on my Monster, and I'll put the mileage translations up here. And I just wanted to give my thoughts about which one, if I only had to buy one wheel, which one it would be. And without a doubt it would be the M Super. And the reason for that is it's kind of the best of both worlds in my opinion, where it's small enough that it's still transportable, maneuverable, more maneuverable, and yet being comfortable for longer rides. You know, I did a 50-mile commute on the M Super, and it did very well in that regard. It's still quite fast. This is an older one. This is the original V3 820 watt-hour battery, 67 volt, and I've been very, very pleased with it. That's not to say that I'm not pleased with my Monster, but I would say that it's more of a one-trick pony, where it's good for cruising and not much else, in my opinion. It's not maneuverable. It's heavy. It's a nice wheel in what it does, but if I only had to get one wheel, it would be the M Super without a doubt. So I just want to get that out of the way. But really, what's transpired over the last few days is more Gotway problems. You know, Gotway for the last year has had embarrassing quality control problems. They had the issue a few months ago where their motor connectors were put together in a haphazard fashion, which was causing them to desolder themselves and lose connection and spontaneously turn off their wheels. And then they changed that. But now this most recent problem with, I think it's mostly the M Super V3 S Pluses, but I think also some ACMs, the newer ACMs, is when you go over a slight bump, all of a sudden the wheel starts to oscillate very quickly and throws you off. I've probably seen at least 10 examples of this happening, at least 10. And the most noticeable to me, of course, is Marty Back, who just posted today a video of him riding his brand new M Super V3 S Plus 1600 watt-hour unicycle, and he hit a very small lip, like coming off the road onto the ramp of a sidewalk. Hit that lip, it beeped, and it immediately threw him off. And he was going at a decent clip. He's estimating around 15 miles an hour. And I don't think he had on wrist guards, and he was saying how his wrist hurt. Luckily he had on his helmet, elbow pads, and knee pads, but he got pretty banged up, hit his shoulder. And even Marty, who is a die-hard Gotway guy, at least I get the sense that he's kind of like, enough is enough. You know, this is ridiculous. You know, to have wheels that you know, Gotway's thing has been there at the leading edge when it comes to speed, range, and power with their wheels. But somehow along the way, they forgot that, you know, you still have to have a modicum of engineering and safety built into these wheels, because it's great if your wheels can go that fast, but if they go that fast and you're flipping a coin if you're going to survive the ride or not, without falling off, that's no good in my opinion. And actually that's really the reason that I planned for my next 16-inch wheel. I was planning to get an ACM, but I actually am now have changed my mind. I'm going to get a KingSong KS16, KingSong 16S is what I'm going to get for my 16-inch wheel. Not quite as fast as an ACM, but it has, in my opinion, a much better safety record, and I'm not worried about shoddy workmanship causing me bodily harm. You know, I can do that myself just by making poor decisions. I don't need the equipment to do that for me. So yeah, I'm not going to be going for Gotway. Anytime in the foreseeable future, until they can go a long period of time without these kind of embarrassing incidents going on. Because it just seems like, every other week there's another another disappointing and, in this case, very dangerous Gotway problem going on. And also with Marty, I also forgot to mention his ACM, the week prior, last week, that died on him. Now, granted, Marty was doing some very, very extreme off-road climbing. It was definitely very strenuous. But his that wheel just died on him. And when he opened up the wheel, it turned out that the wires coming from the motor, they got so hot that the insulation melted and they shorted out, and then poof, the whole wheel went dead. And when you saw the wires inside, it was a little strange that they were very thin gauge, you would think, for the amount of amps that come through there. And obviously the result of insulation melting would indicate that they're undersized for the role that they're asked to take on, and the current they're asked to push through those wires. So again, that's another eye-opener that there just is not enough focus on the big picture, in my opinion, when it comes to safety with Gotway. That they're looking at one part of the electric unicycle experience where speed and power and range. Riders want that. Yeah, riders do want that, but riders don't want to do that while significantly risking their safety to do so. So yeah. So anyways, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I think I said a lot more in my last video, unfortunately, but if any of you that ever shot a video, and if you ever had this situation where you go through a whole video and you think it's good, and then it turns out the video is screwed up, to try to go back and redo it again, I don't think it's ever as good the second time as the first. So, but in a nutshell, I'm disappointed in Gotway. I think they need to get their act together. I feel bad for dealers that are now faced with this problem, because they don't want to be responsible for selling a wheel to someone that could cut out on them. Just imagine if Marty's scenario would have happened, like if he hit like a manhole cover on a road, and there happened to be a car nearby. He goes off and he rolls the wrong way, and he gets hit by a car, potentially killed, because of just due diligence not being done. That's not okay with me. And I feel that as long as people keep handing Gotway money, lots and lots of money, it encourages the lack of action, in my opinion. So I'm not going to give them any more of my money until something happens, and of course everybody else has to make their own decision for themselves, whatever they're comfortable with. But in my case, I'm fine going potentially slightly slower, potentially not quite as far on a KingSong, as long as I have a better chance of the wheel not letting me down. That's kind of important to me. I'm not a young guy. I'll be almost 50, or I'll be 50 pretty soon. So I don't recover from wipeouts as quickly as maybe someone that's in their mid-20s. So I'd rather stay upright if at all possible. So anyways, that's my thoughts. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts below. I'd love to hear if you have a Gotway, what your experiences have been, what your thoughts are about buying a Gotway in the future, and if you're looking at alternatives just as I am. So anyways, hopefully this video recorded correctly. We'll see. That's all I have for now. Until next time, Duffman out.